Listen, every Sunday morning at the Ducey House, we watch Fox News Sunday because that guy's on it, and he joins us live from our nation's capital. Hey, Chris.
Let me just say, no shot. No, it doesn't count. Game over.
No, because it was sit there. But if you get the ball off in time for the buzzer.
If the buzzer.
Well, no. If it had gone in, it would have been a shot, but it didn't go in. It hung up there, so it doesn't count. It's
but
like
remember
if the
that
ball
Tiger
gets
Woods
wedged.
golf shot? It rolled up to the cup, and it just sort of stopped there, and everyone went, and then a few seconds later it rolled in. That still counts?
Then that counts, but it has to be a few seconds. Actually, there's a rule in the PGA, and I'm glad that this is what we're talking about today instead of plugging my show. There's a rule
You started
in the PGA
this.
that you've only got a few seconds, then you have to tap it in.
All right.
Is that right?
We only have a few seconds that we need to, before you've got to go. We want to talk about this. The president went to Twitter to claim that something like, 6 million Americans have gotten covered through Obamacare. But, the fact checkers are looking. It looks like 4 million of them are through Medicaid. And now a lot of people are going, now, wait a minute, that number is squishy because we don't know how many signed up through Obamacare, and we don't know how many we're just going to sign up anyway.
Well, first of all, under Obamacare, Medicaid is expanded so that instead of being the poverty level, it's raised up in a lot of places to 133% of the poverty level. So a lot more people are eligible for Medicaid under Obamacare, but that's not the exchanges. That's just a plain government health care benefit, like Medicare or Medicaid, and that, is not going through the exchanges and paying your premium and maybe getting a subsidy. That doesn't help the insurance companies. Just government health care.
Sure, and the president wound up getting 3 Pinocchios from the Washington Post because it's just not true.
Certainly
and
did.
It also, might I say, when they talked about they needed for Obamacare to work, they needed the 7 million people to sign up. Yep. Those people don't go against the 7 million. That's a completely separate category. On the other hand, they may be people who are uninsured who, because of the expansion, the raising of the poverty level, are now covered, so it's good for them.
Indeed.
Hey, Chris, I don't know if you got my text message and saw it, but the NSA apparently did. They're not just taking phone conversations. They're now trying to monitor texts. I know that Obama is actually going to get in, and the president's trying to make some reforms there. What's the latest?
Well, the latest is that he's going to kind of straddle Elizabeth. There were 46 recommendations from his own panel. Some of them he's going to accept, for instance, the idea of a privacy advocate when the government goes to the Foreign Intelligence Surveillance Court, the secret court, and says we want to be able to do such and such. Before, it's just been the government and a judge. Now I think you're going to see a system where there's somebody there representing the other side being privacy and arguing against this in some cases. There's a reasonable argument that there be an adversarial proceeding, although the concern that some people are mentioning in the national security community is just going to slow it down and just going to make it harder for the government to catch the bad guys. On the other hand, there was all this talk about the government holding all of the metadata, all of our phone records, the number that my phone number calls and how long we talk, not the content. And there was an idea maybe the phone company should hold on to this or a third party. And they went through this, and apparently the president isn't going to go for that because the phone companies don't want any part of this. Right. So it's going to be a kind of, one from column A and none from column B. We're going to be talking on Sunday to the former NSA chief, Michael Hayden, about whether or not the president has endangered our security. Also to, and you can see there, the chairman of the Senate Judiciary Committee, Pat Leahy, who has put in a bill that would even dramatically increase the privacy safeguards. My guess is it's going to be too much for Hayden and not enough for Leahy.
Oh, it's going to be an interesting debate about that, certainly.
It will. I think the headline is that you're texting Chris Wallace.
Yeah. Well, because we all have access to it.
I don't need to text me, just talk right here.
Let me just say, you and Tim are safe because I wouldn't know how to get a text on my telephone if you... I don't know. It's very upsetting. I go to my 6-year-old grandchild and I say... I say to my grandchild, help Bomb do this, will you please?
He doesn't text. He only uses Snapchat.
That's right.
Chris Wallace, host of Fox News Sunday.
Snap what?
There you go.
Sure, good. Like you don't know.
He's kidding.
Thanks, Chris.
He just sent me one.
Yeah. It was adorable, by the way.
We'll be watching on Sunday.
This is not a Snapchat. This is a news chat.
Snap over to Heather.
Clayton, we got to get you down there to give him a little tutorial, don't we?
Yeah, on Snapchat.
On Snapchat.
Get that on video.
All right. Okay. Thanks so much, guys. Good morning to you all. Well, listen to this story coming out this morning. He murdered a pregnant woman in cold blood after he sexually assaulted her. And now the killer's family says that he is the one who suffered. Dennis McGuire was executed for his crime, but his family says that the execution process took too long because there was a combination of new drugs that was used, and those drugs had never been used on anyone before.